Thank you so much for joining us, Shannon. We really appreciate having you on today. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and sharing some insights with us today.
Yeah, no problem.
Absolutely. So let's jump right into our questions. Your job is not an easy one, and I find that almost everyone in this field has a story, sometimes really interesting, sometimes really personal, about how they got here. So if you wouldn't mind sharing your story, I would love to hear it.
Yeah, so it's kind of a long one because I told I'm older than I look. But actually, it got started 15 years ago. So I'm actually a school psychologist. So I started off as a school psychologist. I was going to go into child psychology, then became a school psychologist. I did that for a little while and then realized that I really like the behavior portion of the school psychology rather than the testing. So I worked at a place that primarily focused on kids with autism and more severe behaviors. And I really got into the behavior side of that and I loved it. So I shifted tactics and I got my BCBA and then I became licensed in New York. And then I became a supervisor for behavior analysis with an agency as opposed to a school. And then I continued down the insurance route. I became a director, a clinical director, and then a director of a state for a national company. And then I did some other supervisory positions, but I wasn't really happy with how other companies were running things because I worked for a lot of national companies, big companies that didn't actually start in New York or even in my they didn't start in my town, but not even in New York. So I want something different.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You do look younger than you look, or yeah, you do look younger than you are then, because that's quite a career you've already had. That's all.
I'll take
So,
it.
how do you maintain quality and consistency across home, school, and center-based services, since those are all three very, very different environments?
Yeah, that really speaks to the strength of your team. I have a fantastic team. I'm so grateful for them. I managed to hire some BCBAs that I had actually worked with previously. And they're fantastic. They're so skilled and talented, and their heart is in it. And that's the important thing because we can always teach skills, but we can't teach caring and heart. So that's really what I look for. Someone who wants to do this job, not just because it's a paycheck, but because they actually care about the kids and they tend to do the best work because they actually do care. They take all the feedback and they apply it and they do whatever they can to make sure that those kids meet all of their goals. And I have a fantastic team, so they help me ensure quality control across different settings.
That's awesome. It's all about the team at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what strategies have worked best for you in building strong collaborations with pediatricians and other agencies?
Yeah, so what I used to do is lunch and learns. So I'd meet with pediatricians and they'd talk about ABA because ABA gets a bad rap from the 90s. And, we've evolved since then. Every field has evolved since then. But unfortunately, we really have had this stuck to us for a long time. And a lot of it I found is also, pediatricians and psychologists that might be recommending services don't recommend it because of that. They don't know that we've evolved. It's not something that's talked about as much. It's still a newer field in the grand scheme of things. So I found that by meeting with psychologists, which I've done, meeting with pediatricians, meeting with agencies in the area, and then just letting them see my face, letting them see our work, and letting them see what we actually do. It's not so big and scary. They see that we actually do care about the kids. We've evolved. We don't just do the old Lovaas style ABA anymore. We do a lot of natural environment teaching as well, and they're still evolving. So
It's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah,
Education is almost always the cure to bad rumors and incorrect facts, right?
yeah, and then I volunteer too, so making sure that they see you, so you're not just like some scary person behind the wall or in the office. I do volunteering, and I try to go out and do trunk or treat and I do some of the schools have services nights. I'll go to those. Even if they don't take the service, at least they can see who is doing the work and they get to meet me and actually hear what we do. So it's not all rumors. They are actually talking to me about it.
You're a real person, a real professional in their real community.
Yeah.
So, what challenges have you faced in recruiting and retaining top talent? I know that's always a problem, especially in New York.
That is our biggest problem right now is recruiting and retaining top talent. It is hard. It is really challenging. We try to be are being very picky with who we are hiring. So it is taking a lot longer to hire. So our wait list is actually a lot longer right now. And I let parents know it's just because we want to make sure that when we do hire staff, it's staff that want to be here. Again, it's people whose heart is in it, not just people who are coming for a paycheck. Because I've tried to just hire people who, you know, it was kind of, they wanted the paycheck. They had the experience and wanted the paycheck, and they quit with no notice within like a couple months. And then that leaves all the families with nothing. So I really try to focus on more picky hiring and making sure that the person has the proper experience. We hear what they have to say. We ask them personal questions. We also ask them a lot of situational questions just to see how they would respond and get a better feel for who they are as people. It has helped. I now have a lot of my staff, at least half of them have been with me for over a year, which is great, especially for this field, but I'd like to do even better. I'd like everyone to stay and enjoy what they do.
Yes.
Yeah, we are trying to be pickier with who we hire.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think you have to be, right, because the amount of time and energy that you put into new hires
Yeah.
is so extreme that if you hire wrong and you have to fire, or if you hire wrong and they leave quickly,
Yeah.
it's a massive expense.
Yeah, and also these kids, we work with a lot of kids that are younger, like age 2. The youngest one is 1 years old. A lot of them are up to age 10. A lot of the kids are younger, so they're preschool, and then we have elementary school age kids. That's a lot of them, most of them. And it's a vulnerable population. A lot of the kids, we're teaching them to talk and use their communication, but we might not be there yet. And we want to make sure that whoever is with them is trustworthy and wants to be there and has that child's best interest at heart.
Absolutely. And has the time to build a relationship with,
Yeah.
with right?
Yep.
So how do you balance running a business, teaching, and also advocating in the field? Because I know you do all of those.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a Google Calendar and I do time blocking. It is a life changer. So, you know, there's certain times I block off for when I'm doing work for NYSABA. That's kind of the advocacy work. And then I block off time that I'm doing stuff for the business I run. And then I also have, it's usually Sundays, I have chunks of time blocked off to teach and to grade. And that's with the time blocking, I'm able to fit all that in and still try to do it. It's over 40 hours per week for sure. It's like 60, but but I also want to make sure that I have time for my kids. So I try to time block and make sure that I'm cutting it off at some point so that I have time for my own family.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So we just now talked about you are in a difficult space for recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
How does your team go about gaining new talent, especially attracting new talent? What is working well for you right now?
Yeah, so some things worked and some things didn't.
Hmm.
Some things that I've tried is going to college career fairs. For some reason, they just haven't worked out. Some things that have worked is Indeed posts. The best talent we've gotten it's all been through word of mouth. So the best employees, I don't want to say best, we have a lot of great employees, but we have a lot of great employees that, you know, they hear from parents that this company is looking for someone. It's someone who knows me personally that I used to work with previously. Yeah, they hear through the grapevine that we're hiring, and they tend to be the best ones that we get because they know us personally and they're seeking us out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And because they're seeking you out, they appreciate the opportunities and the investment that you make in them more so than someone who you had to chase.
Yes, yep, someone who's just applying. Not to knock Indeed, we've gotten
No.
so many great candidates on there too, but I found that a lot of the employees that we have who have a lot of heart, they're referred or they find us because they do like what we represent. And the funny thing is, some of the talent that we do have, two of the things that they cite the most, well, three things. One is the website. They like what we have on our website. We're accredited and all the hard work we put into making sure that people know that we're official and do the right thing and ethical. The second thing is the Medicaid. Some of them really liked that we took Medicaid because to date, I think I'm still the only one in the area that takes Medicaid, the only ABA agency that takes Medicaid. So a lot of doctors and psychologists and then insurance companies refer to us just because we actually accept Medicaid, and a lot of ABA agencies don't. And, you know, a lot of the good talent that we get that really care, they appreciate that because it shows that we're not just in it for money. And then the final thing is that we are smaller, so we're not a national company. A lot of great staff that we've gotten have seen that we're smaller. They interview at the bigger companies in the area and they see that it's a chain company and they want something smaller and more heartfelt. So, and they're fantastic because they came to us for the right reasons.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that, smaller and more heartfelt specifically, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people say that oh, we want something smaller. They don't really mean smaller. They mean I want it to be closer to the purpose, to the heart of the mission.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's really
And
cool.
it's just me. There's nobody above me.
Yeah,
There's no chain of command. I'm HR and everything else.
yep.
So, and yeah, so, and I've told a lot of people like working for me, and that word gets around.
That's awesome. That's awesome. As it should. As it should. So, what is one recruitment or marketing tactic that you're currently considering or watching in the marketplace these days?
So I definitely still like the idea of the word of mouth because that tends to pull in good talent. We're doing a lot more on social media. So a lot of people are on social media. I haven't made any reels, but I'm thinking about it because as people are scrolling, they scroll and they see the reels, and that seems to be what really captures people attention. So maybe making some reels about what we do and that we're hiring. So
Yeah,
those are some things that I've been considering.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, in
Yeah.
ways to amplify word of mouth, right? Word of mouth is one of those things that is hard to turn up and turn down based on demand, based on need. It's not easy.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, Perfect. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking time. I appreciate you sharing some of your insights. You guys are building an incredible team, building an incredible organization. So thank you for the work you're doing in your community as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely.